siphon them away or something, or fireball, or burn to the ground.
Yeah, probably not with 2 threshold. All right.
There is a black-green Shinhair deck for the Wretched Broods and the Eulogists and stuff, so maybe you could put this in there and try to life siphon them for big, but...
Don't do that. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's still, this card just costs too much to me. Like, I mean, it's trying to be Priest of Titania, but it's a 4-drop instead of a 2.
Yeah, Priest of Titania only costs 1. Or only costs 2.
4 mana for a card that you're trying to get more mana out of. There's an artifact that costs 4 and it taps for 2.
Yeah.
Hex Engine.
Hex Engine, and that just seems a lot more reliable. 1, you don't have to have other creatures around for it to be good, and it's not a creature, so it's harder to kill. Like, say you're playing this in Constructed with your Eye of Creation Shinhair deck, like, in all likelihood, the other deck is going to have removal spells in it, like Burn, or Rage Fire, or Murder. They're going to see this come down, and you're probably just going to have some Battle Hoppers or something, and they see this, and they're like, oh man, there's got to be something bad coming in. They're just going to kill this, whereas Hex Engine, they're not going to be able to kill as easily.
Yeah.
Keep in mind also that given you're playing the Shinhair deck, they're not going to have a lot of good targets to their removal, except for this guy.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to kill a Battle Hopper. They'll just hold on to their murders, and you'll play, like, the first relevant guy, which is with this dude, and they're like, sweet, he's dead.
Yeah.
Yep. Meanwhile,
Speaking
you
of
have no board.
Shinhairs, we have this next guy.
All right. So moving on. Next up, we have Runeard Commander. Runeard Commander is, despite his dual-wielded swords, a 0/1. But he does have Rage 1.
The swords are very small, but they grow larger. Yeah, he's attacking as a 1/1. He's a little bit too small. If he was a 1/1 Rage for 1, I think that guy would be pretty good. As a 0/1, he has to attack the second time, and he might still be playable, actually. I guess I could see this guy being played. He's not the greatest 1-drop attacker, but I think he'll do an okay job in, like, red-green fast aggro. In Limited, this guy is basically unplayable. Like, they will probably have a 2/2, or even like a 1/2 or something on turn 2, and they'll just kill him. He's a terrible, awful top deck. Don't really play 1-drops in Limited, it's just the general rule. But in Constructed, I think he could have a place in black-green or red-green. Highly, highly aggressive style decks.
Yeah. In Limited, same problem of just attacking, being a 0/1, and then a 1/1, so his stats are not the greatest right off the bat. In Constructed, he's a Shinhair, so the Shinhair has like a 1-drop that, to me, this is more appealing than the other one. The one that's just a 1/2 and does not have rage or anything. This has like the potential to attack for more by itself, which, I mean, the Shinhair deck is presumably going to be pretty aggressive, so you might want to play this. And then you might go in other green X aggressive decks. He's okay.
Yeah, he's got Rage, so I feel like there's always potential for any of these cards with Rage, since that's a cumulative ability. Not cumulative, but it does build on itself. But yeah, the coming into play as a 0/1 is pretty ugly.
He's no Curve, let's just say that.
For
Yeah.
the most part, if you drop him on your first turn and you're attacking, it's still, like, they could still drop, like, a 1/2 on turn 2, like a Bone Warrior or something, and just block him, and then
He has to get through 3 times. No, he has to get through the 4th time to be better than a Savage Raider.
That's unfortunate.
If he attacks less than that, he is worse than Savage Raider.
Yeah, generally he dies the first attack.
Granted, if you're playing him, you're probably playing the Shinhair deck, so you're going to have other ways to get him tougher, at least punch harder. So there's that, but he's still just not quite the greatest guy. So we will move on to a different Shinhair card. It's Shinhair Clock, apparently. Runs to the litter. This is kind of like the generic make a bunch of bunnies card. 2 mana basic action. Create 3 battle hoppers and put them into play.
All right, pretty quick. This card does nothing if you're not playing a Shin'Hair deck. In the Shin'Hair deck, it's like the most important card in the deck. Straight up, that's how it is. Same thing in limited. If you can pump them all up, that's fine. I'd play it. If you can't, it's really bad. Creating 0/1s is terrible unless you can do a lot of things with them. So, is the Shin'Hair deck good or no? It seems mediocre, so this card is mediocre.
Yeah. I suppose, I think like it might go into some Eye of Creation decks as kind of a roadblock thing. Similar to how Lingering Souls is used in some Magic decks, or was. It's like you can use it to stem the bleeding before you get your Eye of Creation off. Its best home's in the Shin'Hair deck, though. And if you're going Shin'Hair crazy and limited or constructed, you're probably going to want as many of these as you can get.
Yeah. It gets you a whole bunch of nothing, but a nothing that can become a something. So, if you got other support for it, great card.
Yeah, man. That guy on the left's holding a broom.
It's true.
That's true.
There was a pretty sweet alternate art guy you could get in the N64 fighter Mace the Dark Age who fought with a broom. I want to point that out. That's a reference that
was
going to
relevant.
get.
There's also I'm pretty sure there's like a Soul Calibur weapon you can unlock
There
for
is.
somebody with a broom.
Yes.
I just realized that a Battle Hopper is the exact same equivalent in terms of stats as a Runier Commander. The hell's going on in their ranks, dude? Like, just a nobody is the same.
The Runier Commander has 2 swords, man. This fight's Commander.
Dude, he gets mad, though.
He's angry.
The runs
But of
let him
course.
get mad.
Oh, you're angry? You're a commander now.
Alright, moving on to our next Shin'Hair. Sensei of the Milky Eye. This is a 2 mana casting cost, 1/1. When you come to the play, you draw a card.
This guy is great. He's like a speed bump that draws a card. I'd play him in every combo deck that plays green. I guess I'd probably have him in the Shin'Hair deck too, just because I wouldn't play him in any deck that wants to be aggressive. But any non-aggressive deck, he's a sort of reasonable play. He always cycles, and against red, he's quite good because he'll probably kill somebody. But even against other decks, he'll save you a couple life. Imagine him as basically 2 mana, gain 3 life, draw a card, which is not a bad play.
Yeah, this guy's pretty good. 2 mana, draw a card, speed bump guy that can attack. I think a lot of decks, like mid-range decks maybe, are not going to have many turn 2 plays, and this guy's not the worst thing to do. Digs you towards good spells, and in combo decks, like the Eye of Creation deck, they'll dig you towards that and save you a hit from something big and scary like a Zoltog or something else.
I would just block the first 3/1 that attacks you. Like, even the token
Yeah.
you made is just, I'm just going to block that guy, that's fine.
Yeah, something like that too.
I would also just like to point out that guy has more swords than he has working eyes.
That's true.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he is missing an eye.
He's got too many swords, can't even handle them. He used to be a 2/2, but now he's only a 1/1 after his accident.
Okay, so moving on to the next Shin'Hair. Shin'Hair Militia. This is the 1 mana casting cost, 1/2, with nothing fancy about it.
So in the flavor draft, apparently if you stick enough 0/1s together, they just become a 1/2. I don't really know how that works, but yeah,
Trip on 'em.
this card sucks. 1/2 for 1 has never been playable, and it's still not playable.
Do you think it's an okay 1-drop compared to, like, it's
No, it's
opposite of
terrible,
Savage
yeah.
Raider, it's better than a Charge Bot.
It's not better than a Charge Bot. Charge Bot charges your champion. This guy does not charge your champion.
It's true. You can
Oh.
beat him, though.
Okay, if the game is just you play the Charge Bot and I play the Shin'Hair Militia and we never do anything else, then yes, I guess eventually I'll win. But I think we have other spells to play. And yeah, in fact, actually, I would like to point out that charging your champion in certain decks that actually help you win that race.
Yeah,
Like,
tournament champions. I know it's okay. I could see maybe I'm not going to be excited to play this in draft unless I'm like super shin hair crazy, got like 3 Bucktooth Commanders or something. In constructed, I guess if the shin hair deck is really hurting for another 1-drop, they could play this. I mean, it's got the creature type, and
it's a irrelevant for 1 shin hair. Like,
It has 2 toughness.
and it costs 1 mana, so the shin hair deck might want to play it.
ugh.
They're not going to be excited about it though. They'd rather play something else, or maybe just not even play it and play good spells instead.
This card in Magic, I would like to point out, the first iteration of this had snow-covered forest walk in Ice Age. It was still unplayable.
Well, good to know.
Yeah.
Everyone will shun this card to the end of time.
Yeah, Ice Age comparisons are a little weird though. Like that set also had Brainstorm. I think spells were a little better back then.
That set didn't have Brainstorm. Alliances had Brainstorm. But that set did have Necropotence, which, whatever.
Brainstorm was first printed in Ice Age.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Alright, I guess I'll believe you. But I swear there's Alliances.
Oh, okay.
Back to the Hex world. And finally out of shin hair. We're moving on to Spirit Dance. Spirit Dance is a 5-mana casting, costs 2 threshold basic action, and it gives troops in your deck a permanent +2/-2 and cost -2.
So this card seems super cool because it pumps up all your guys and makes them cheap. The downside with that is it'll also kill all your cheap guys. So you can't play anyone who has toughness less than 3 to start, otherwise they'll just die. And that means you can't play a 1 or 2 drop for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't know, it also turns all your 3/3s now into 5/1s. I think I'd actually rather have 3/3s, even if they're cheaper. They really should give them +2/+2 or +2/+0 or something. I don't know. I don't think I like it very much. It's totally unplayable in draft. And I guess this is another sort of combo card in that it gives something -2 cost, which is sometimes a powerful ability. If you can create some kind of reanimation loop with now the card is free and it'll die because it only has 2 defense to start, then we can be cool with that. But I think that on the face of it, it's not good. I think it's only going to be some sort of combo enabler or completely garbage rare.
Yeah, I don't see the use for it right now. Making things cost cheaper is definitely good, but I don't know if it's got a home yet. The -2 toughness that's kind of a turnoff. Plus, it costs 5. It doesn't affect the board, and then you need to draw a creature from your deck for this to have even done anything at all. So I mean that's a lot of maybes for spending 5 mana. Probably never going to play this in drafts. I suppose there could be a combo deck at some point with this, but I don't see it right now.
Well, right now, they've copied Magic quite a bit, but until the game comes out, we don't know if this is actually going to kill creatures. Also, not only will it, we don't know if it's not going to kill creatures, we don't know if it's going to kill them until you draw them. So we don't know if you can even use this as a way to clutter out your entire deck with nothing but your good cards because you have 5 mana anyway. So, yeah.
I would think that, say you have a 2/2 in your deck. You play this, and then you draw that card. I would think the card would now be a 4/0 that costs 2 less. So if you were to ever play it, it would just die immediately.
Yeah.
I don't think killing it in your deck makes it go anywhere.
Okay. And even so, that makes this card even worse.
Wasn't there a black rare in Magic that did basically exactly this? It came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
People
You're
thought it was
thinking
stupid.
I forget the name of it, but it cost 2 mana. It was an enchantment. Your guys cost 2 less and got -1/-1. And that card was actually good.
Yes. -1/-1's not as... Well, it was actually better than this. It wasn't really good. Never really saw any play. The problem is
I
that
want an SCG. What is it? Like the store level